Xpeng have just revealed their sales and revenue and profits for the last 3 months. And revenue grew by a staggering 141%. Car deliveries grew by 340%. And total losses from Xpeng were at their lowest level in history. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. Great to have you with us. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. If you've been following the channel now for a while, you'd know that I couldn't understand why for about a year, Xpeng just wasn't doing well. Their cars weren't selling. I just couldn't understand it. I mean, they were really good value. I said this on the channel so many times, making these videos saying, why are their cars not selling? What is going on? Well, things have certainly turned around. Now, I should point out, guys, that the truth is, there's only one EV manufacturer, as in pure EV manufacturer, that's actually making a profit in the world. And that's Tesla. However, Xpeng could be set. Let's be realistic here. Looking at these numbers here, there's a very good probability that Xpeng by the fourth quarter of this year, based on the current trajectory they're heading in, will also be making a profit as well. And if that is the case, I think it's very likely Xpeng stock price will continue its trajectory upwards. Xpeng reported revenue of $2.18 billion in the first quarter, beating analyst estimates of around $2.1 billion. That's up 141.5% from the same period in 2024 and represents really quite a remarkable turnaround for the company, who really start of last year, things were looking pretty dire. But things have changed drastically since then. I don't think anyone predicted this would happen. Xpeng delivered 94,000 vehicles in the first quarter, up 331% from 21,000 in the same period last year. That's a dramatic increase. Deliveries for the quarter exceeded the upper end of Xpeng's previously guided range of 91,000 to 93,000. So very, very accurate numbers here from Xpeng, which is surprising. It's rare that car manufacturers can be so accurate with their actual delivery numbers and deliver right on the upper end of that range, which was only a couple of percent really range there that Xpeng could choose from to give investors really a good idea of what was going to happen. And they were correct. Xpeng reported a net loss of RMB 660 million in the first quarter, its lowest really in history, in modern history. Since the second quarter of 2020, when they were barely selling cars. So in the last 5 years. So that means Xpeng lost a total of $91.6 million US. 91.6 million, contrast that with, say, other Chinese electric car companies that are losing $1 billion every quarter. Seems like a pretty damn good result. And it means that Xpeng's losses continue to trend downwards. Now, that was actually 51.5% lower than the approximately $185 million loss in the first quarter of last year. So massive improvement there for Xpeng. There's still a ways to go, clearly, before they're actually into the black, but it does seem like there's a pretty good chance that's going to happen soon. Importantly, Xpeng's gross margin was actually really good. In comparison to, say, companies like Volkswagen and Porsche, Mercedes-Benz, BMW, their gross margin was much higher, with a record 15.6%, which was an increase of 2.7 percentage points as per cnevpost.com. And that's growth of 1.2 percentage points from their record fourth quarter of last year, which, to be honest, was a shockingly good fourth quarter. An improvement on margin to 15.6% is incredibly healthy. I don't really know how Xpeng's pulling this off, because their cars are incredibly good value. They've got the new, well, not the new, I should say, the Xpeng Mona EV, which I test drove in China recently, $16,500 it starts at. And that's, I don't know how they make that car and aren't losing insane amounts of money, but somehow they're actually doing it. First quarter vehicle margin was 10.5%. compared to 5.5% in the same period. So they've basically doubled their margins. Margins in the fourth quarter of 2024 were 10%. So margins continue to actually get better. The year-on-year and quarter-on-quarter increases CNET Post says were primarily attributable to the ongoing cost reduction and economies of scale driven by an increase in sales volume, partially offset by the inventory provision and losses on purchase commitment related to the upgrade of certain cars. This is one of the big challenges in China. Car companies are just having to upgrade their cars constantly to compete, and it seems like they're upgrading their cars every 6 to 12 months, which is ridiculous, but it comes with a fair bit of cost involved. Services and other margin was 66.4% in the first quarter compared to 53.9% in the same period in 2024 and 59.6% in the fourth quarter of 2024. The year-on-year increase was attributable to higher gross margin from the technical development service revenues. Quarter-on-quarter increase was primarily attributable to higher gross margin from repair and maintenance services. Xpeng's R&D expenses for the first quarter were RMB 1.98 billion, about $400 million, an increase of 46.7%. So Xpeng is investing a lot of money into R&D. And I think we can clearly see that with the car range that they have. Now they've basically upgraded their entire model series. Every single car has been upgraded this year. For example, I did videos on the new P7 Plus. I did a video on the new X9, the new G9, the new G6, the new G7. So they're upgrading all these cars much, much faster than companies obviously like Tesla. And what that means is customers are obviously saying, well, the cars are really good value. In addition, they just revealed the new P7 Ultra, which might be the best looking car that I've seen this year. And that's certainly going to create some sales buzz for them. But probably more relevant to a lot of buyers is the new Xpeng Mona M03 Max. That's due within 3 or 4 days. And the Mona M03 Max is the premium version of Mona's M03 EV, which starts at $16,600 and is one of the most popular electric cars in China right now. This Max variant comes with Xpeng's Turing AI assisted driving system. And that new chip from Xpeng, that full self-driving chip, is actually going into all of Xpeng's models. The G9, G6, all of them. They're all going to get this new, basically artificial intelligence full self-driving chip. And Xpeng are putting a lot of their expenses and a lot of money into artificial intelligence. Xpeng has also equipped the Turing AI system on its more expensive models, the G6, the G9, the X9, and the P7. The Mona M03 Max will also have a fully fledged version of the Tanji cockpit system, which apparently means it's going to get basically the Mona M03 has a completely different sort of software system, which is sort of weird. If you've been driving all the other Xpeng cars, you get in the Mona and you're like, what's this? This is totally different. So in the Max version, they're going to use the same version as the G9 and the G6 and all that, the same software. I actually think they should probably put that same software in all versions of the Mona. But anyway, that's where they're at. The Mona lineup comes from Xpeng's 2023 acquisition of the smart car development business assets of ride-hailing giant Didi. The company originally planned to set up Mona as a standalone brand, but they later changed their mind and made it a lineup under the Xpeng brand, which I think was a really good idea. It's crazy how other car brands are making all these new brands and people just get confused. They don't even know what it is, basically. The Mona M03 has been a huge success since its launch and has become Xpeng's best-selling car. And for good reason. At $16,000, it's incredibly good value for money. The electric sedan delivered 14,000 units in April, contributing 41% of Xpeng's monthly deliveries, according to CNF Post. From January to April, the Mona M03 delivered 61,000 vehicles, contributing 47.53% of Xpeng's deliveries during that period. Clearly, that car is critical to Xpeng's success. Now, where are things going to go from here? I mean, will things continue to get better? Well, I can't say for sure, but Xpeng CEO claims that the company will make a profit, be the first time in its history it'll start making a legitimate profit in the fourth quarter of this year. Is that going to happen? It could. I really don't know. But according to Xpeng's current trajectory, it does look very, very possible. To me, I think Xpeng need to double down on improving their full self-driving, make sure it really works really well, just like Tesla's does. But also, they need to get out the P7 Ultra. That is their showpiece car. That car looks absolutely incredible. And I think when customers, or when people in China and potentially other countries see the P7 Ultra driving around, it's going to be a real statement piece for the company. just kind of letting them know about the Xpeng brand. Because the truth is, in a lot of countries, the Xpeng brand is still not that well known. Guys, what are your thoughts on these numbers? Are you as bullish and positive about them as I am? I should own stock in the company, shouldn't I? I don't, but I should maybe, or maybe I will. Who knows? Guys, let me know what you think in the comments. Bye-bye.